I'm now in the American state of South Dakota, where I've been searching for traces of once unbreakable relationships between people and buffaloes. They say you need to sleep on an idea for it to settle. Morning brings wisdom. And this morning, I'm determined to become part of this mystical world of Native Americans and buffaloes. And I'll use a very ancient method to achieve this goal. Not anyone can handle it, you know. Unfortunately, in modern society, you rarely meet Native Americans working with buffalo and buffalo taken care of by Native Americans. Buffalo live in national parks and special ranches, while Native Americans live on reservations. I'm trying to find people who still work with bisons, or as the locals call them, buffalo. I've come to a true artist and a true Native American. His name is Paul, and he works with buffalo. Not with living buffalo, though, but with their images. I've come to a tattoo shop. Paul Fiddler is the only indigenous inhabitant of America who owns a tattoo shop. The fact is that Native Americans rarely climb the social ladder. Life in reservations is a process of extinction. Alcohol, drugs, crime, diseases, unemployment, and illiteracy doesn't look like the American dream, does it? The average life expectancy of Native Americans in South Dakota is only 44 years. That's why I'm really happy for Paul and hope he'll do well.
Hi, Paul.
Hello there.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good to see you. How you doing?
How you say in Lakota language, hello?
How?
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 How? It's easy.
How? Yeah, with the hand.
How?
Yeah.
How, Paul?
Yeah, how? Sideways.
Yes, you must have guessed that I decided to have a buffalo tattoo made. As we found out, I have a buffalo spirit. I wanted to materialize into something I can be at one with.
But it's very important for me, you know?
Uh-huh.
And for you too.
Yes.
Of course. Because for you, it's a sacred animal, yeah? Spirit animal.
You know, I've rarely seen someone talk about an animal with such enthusiasm. You realize here how interconnected the lives of local Native Americans in Buffalo were.
The women and the children and the elders would follow behind after each buffalo was killed, and they would hide them, they would cut them down, and they would take the meat. And in our culture, you don't waste any meat from a buffalo kill, any meat at all. We utilize each and every one. And what it is we are taught not to waste because we're a people of savor, a people of saving things. And we utilize each and every one of the pieces of the buffalo. And so I'm really honored that you're getting a buffalo tattoo today.
It turns out Paul has a collection of all sorts of buffalo. The image of this animal contains many different fetishes. I only need to choose a tattoo that will embody my wishes.
Very hard to incorporate. We would do buffalo dances long time ago, to the point to where the buffalo would come from wherever they were in the Black Hills or on the plains. If there was a buffalo dance where the Lakotas, they put the buffalo caps on and they danced around the fire and they prayed for buffalo to come. And what it was is there was a sheer connection in between the people and the buffalo. And then this one's...
Paul is not just an artist. He is very devoted to what he does and to his people. I found out how his tribes traditionally made tattoos.
Real deep story within our beliefs. And what it is they're porcupine quills, alpha the porcupine, the Black Hills porcupine. And what it is these porcupine quills, they're flattened. They're flattened and dyed, each in different color. And so what they do is they take a porcupine quill, the pointy porcupine quill, and what they do is they rip it through their teeth, the women. And they rip it and they pull it through.
After such a warm-hearted introduction, it seemed wrong to just have a tattoo of this holy animal made. I've been soaking in local traditions since I came here. What has to be done before you have a tattoo made in Native American culture? I know that for many years, Native Americans have decorated their bodies with images. There must be some traditions, something one should do before such a master like you makes a tattoo. What needs to be done?
I would like to smudge off the gifts I'm going to honor you with today. I have some surprise gifts for you. In our culture, it is to honor somebody that is of good heart and of friendship, of significance that I want to give to you, these gifts today. And what I want to do is I want to smudge these gifts off, and I want to smudge you off. And that way, on your travels, wherever it may take you, that this Lakota nation and this...
This braid is made of the buffalo's favorite grass. It makes sense. A sacred animal, a sacred plant. In Russian, it's called zubrovka. Buffalo equals zuber in Russian. Our bisons also like it, but we don't give this grass a sacral meaning, even though we can also use zubrovka for rituals. That's how the rituals of such similar animals and such different American and European people crossed.
This clears the air, it clears anything that is not good. And so what it is it's cleansing, it's full cleansing. And what this is a sage thin. The sage is to smudge off and just to smudge off and to clear the mind and clear the spirit. You don't want that burns, you want crisp. You want crisp burn.
Friends, here is what I want to say. All of it is the ancient knowledge of Lakota people, and you shouldn't be prejudiced against it. Think of it as aromatherapy, an expression of our best feelings. And I think that we, so-called civilized Europeans, often lack the sincere friendliness in our everyday life. It's not like coming to a Moscow tattoo shop. 100 euros, let me start making your tattoo. No, it's not so simple here. They have rituals that have to be performed, and it's not important whether you are Native American or not, or whether you are an American.
Condensing the cedar. Condensing the cedar.
I don't want to appear presumptuous, but Paul has probably seen something good in me. At least he performed the ceremony that is not usually performed for white people. So now I can consider myself a true Lakota Indian. And this buffalo tail is my amulet from now on.
Because of 4 directions, we do the 4 passes. Because of the 4 directions and the four colors, the 4 significances, that's why we do it 4 times.
Difficult inventions are not part of Lakota tradition. And this small, modest, and very authentic buffalo with the circle of creation is exactly what I need. And it's finally time to start, as it's the reason I came here. It's not my first tattoo, and frankly speaking, this shop hasn't blown my mind. It's like everywhere. Maybe it's for the best. I'm not sure I would like to be tattooed with porcupine needles flattened in someone's mouth.
Are you ready? The man ceremony in our culture, we believe that a long time ago, what it was is to become a man was to be a part of the buffalo hunt. And to be a part of the buffalo hunt is a great honor. And when one's a part of the buffalo hunt, you're signified a warrior. You're signified a man of the people.
I even regretted not having chosen a complicated image. I would have lied here listening to the life of Native Americans in ancient times. But my initiation ritual has only taken around 15 minutes. Now I have a buffalo, however little, but made by a true Native American Paul.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And how it's said in Lakota language?
Pilamaye.
Pilamaye?
Yeah.
Pilamaye.
Yeah.
Pilamaye, Pilamaye, Pilamaye. 4 раза. Thank you.
While I was saying goodbye to Paul, I realized that I still haven't touched a living buffalo. And it's high time to prove to myself that I'm worthy of carrying its picture on me. And as I wouldn't risk approaching a buffalo in the wild, I'll try to do it on a farm with a specialist. We've come to the ranch of a famous buffalo breeder, Dan O'Brien, the man who knows everything about buffalo, who long ago devoted his life to working with these beautiful creatures, with these undemanding animals. And right now, we are going to his ranch, and he'll tell me where everything is. And here is the first snake. Even though the road is empty, we've come to realize that it's better not to get distracted. On the way, we talked with Dan about his life. He is a biologist, and he has been studying wildlife for over 30 years. And imagine what? He is also a falconer. And not just a hunter with a falcon, but a very good specialist on these birds of prey. In addition to that, he is also a writer, a public person, and an ecologist. He started breeding buffalo 18 years ago when he founded his ranch, Wild Idea.
They managed to plow up some of the grass, and they made their houses out of the grass and lived here for a few years. And by doing that, a lot of the native grass, the original grass, was really destroyed. And so we're trying to bring that native grass back. The one problem with this area for cattle is we can have some tremendous winters. And sometimes the winters get really bad. It doesn't bother the buffalo at all. And the cattle need extra care, extra expense.
Extra food.
Yeah, and they don't probably do quite as well as the buffalo than cattle.
On this land.
Yeah.
Well, it's great luck that a noble environmental project also turned out to be economically feasible. Though, it's hard to say that Dan has become incredibly rich. The old car just broke down in the field. It doesn't look better than a Niva somewhere in central Russia. The Japanese machine has failed us here in the American prairies with a Russian tourist. How could you? Though, when would you just stand in the middle of the prairie, soaking in the atmosphere of the place that returned to its initial state? This is how true American prairies, where wild buffalo pastures, look like. This is how they looked like thousands of years ago, and thousands of years ago, Native American tribes used to live here. The river Cheyenne River, which flows into the Mississippi, into the Missouri, and the ocean.
Missouri, Mississippi.
The arriving pickup car saved me from further geographical embarrassment, and just in time, because I don't know how the locals managed to do anything at all here. But finally, being among the buffalo, I've understood why Native Americans are described as very laconic in books. And of course, there are loads of various insects in the prairie that try to get into everything, every hole a person has. That's why the main thing is to close the nose and mouth. We almost got back home, and Dan suddenly remembered that he was planning to put a fence up for the buffalo. And we've lost so much time enjoying the prairies that I feel responsible to help the host. You remember this famous painting, Lenin at a community workday? Well, today, I'm ready to do whatever it takes for you to see how I'm feeding a little buffalo. Well, with this kind of equipment, it can hardly be called hard work. I would spend much more time digging these holes, but when it comes to putting stakes in, I have no equal. Might is right.
Ready? Trade off whenever you're ready, Constantine. Don't kill yourself.
No problem.
This manly task has fully absorbed me. An idea came to my mind. Why not to leave it all behind, settle on a ranch, work the meadows, and breed buffalo? And forget about Moscow show business. Besides, Dan is not only a farmer, but also a writer, so we are almost colleagues.
Where you bring the time for your book?
Well, I wake up early in the morning.
What time? 5 a.m.?
4:30, 5 o'clock.
4:30. Oh, come
Yeah.
on, really?
No, I'm not capable of such daily endeavors. Besides, working with buffalo is rather dangerous. These juggernauts didn't strike as peaceful animals. And, to be honest, they didn't strike me as clever either.
I have never had a bison attack me. I think that that's mythology. I mean, if they're in a pen or if you're harassing them, yeah, then they can be dangerous. But it's a good, healthy life.
It's already afternoon. I can't say for Dan, but after physical work outside, I'm really hungry. And Dan promised to introduce me to his family and show me his house. Maybe they'll offer me lunch there. I'm ready to eat a bull or a buffalo. I'll eat anything they'll give me. I'm lucky to be in a real American kitchen where the buffalo is being cooked. His wife Jill, hello.
This is the bison meat, and I'm fine.
This is the bison meat.
Fresh, of course.
Fresh, yes. Look how beautiful.
Yeah.
Gorgeous red.
Yeah.
All meat, not a lot of fat, right?
Yeah. And don't look like a cow meat, of course, because the cow more fat. Yeah?
You got it. Yeah. It's a lot of marbling and...
And as I've held Dan, it would be bad manners not to help the hostess, especially because Jill said it's very easy to cook buffalo. Oh, I like learning how to cook, especially with this amazing piece of meat. Delicious.
And I guess we should say
Preparing meat turned out to be a standard procedure. Olive oil, the meat itself isn't fatty, so you cannot do without oil. It will be too dry. Salt, pepper. Jill has cut fresh rosemary. It grows here in the backyard. Rosemary! And a side dish, mushrooms fried with onion and garlic, just like in our country. And here is something new.
And in the pan it goes, and then just massage it and rub it into the...
Massage? Well, guys, massaging buffalo meat.
Not my problem.
Me next,
No.
after the roast. Okay.
I'm afraid the husband won't allow it. If somebody wants to know the recipe, the meat is roasted for 20 minutes at 240 degrees and then stays with the oven turned off for 3 hours. And you mustn't open the oven. It's hard not to go crazy during that time with all these smells being so hungry.
Капитан, улыбнитесь. Скоро ужин у меня.
I hope that is a happy song, right?
Yeah, of course.
And the outsides will be just a little bit more, but as we get to the center, we'll have a more medium rare finish. You want to go ahead and slice?
Can I try?
Yes.
I'm not sure, but...
I think you can do it.
And here, people really enjoy delicious buffalo meat. While we were having dinner with the family, Jill and Dan told me that obviously it's not the only way to cook buffalo. Another interesting option is dried meat. That's how Native Americans stored it to take it with them when they traveled, in case of hunger, and just not to let it go to waste. They even have a production facility where I can see and taste this dried buffalo meat. Meanwhile, it's evening, and it's time to make an entry in my diary. My adventures in South Dakota continue. Today, I spent some time with a Native American named Paul, who made me a little buffalo tattoo on my right leg. I was also lucky to talk with an amazing person, a wonderful biologist and writer, Dan O'Brien. He showed me his ranch, showed me the buffalo in such proximity that I'm still in complete awe. Let's see what will happen tomorrow. Today, I've again come to the ranch wild idea. I decided not to distract Dan and went to the meatpacking plant alone. And If the owner was here, I would maybe get the gloves that fit. And these nice girls just take every opportunity to make fun of a Russian guy who came to this remote place to look at how they pack these delicacies. I've come here to help these wonderful women pack dried buffalo meat, or as they call it here, jerky. Not jorka meat, but jerky. Dried buffalo meat is expensive. Not as expensive as caviar, but enough to be very careful with weight control. How much in grams? It's us who use grams, yes? And you do it differently. Listen, I don't know. I need to find a converter and see how many grams. Yeah. Oh, in grams. Excellent. They didn't only give me the gloves of the wrong size, but they also didn't prepare the working place. I suspect the girls are just afraid of competition. People fight for working places here, you know. Excellent. Well, let's start participating. Back in his time, Henry Ford invented the assembly line. It's put to practice here. We also have an assembly line. 3 women had been working well till I arrived to disrupt the process. Regardless of the measuring unit, it has to be very accurate. I don't know how happy the buyer will be when he finds chips that I carefully put into the bag, but there will be no short wait. I've always wondered, people who work at chocolate factories, at ice cream factories, it's a child's dream to work at such a factory. You can eat as much as you want. And can you eat at work? For example, you get hungry and here it is. Just reach out with your hand. Is it allowed or not? Never? That's how I've walked around all the lines of this little assembly line. I screwed up everywhere I could, but felt myself like a quality control inspector. To be honest, I've never been to a real meat packing factory. I don't know how it's usually organized at such factories. However, here I've noticed that the ancient principle of respecting the buffalo is maintained. No part goes to waste. Hard to say whether it has more sacred or economic reason, but they use literally everything. For many years, buffalo had been the source of food for Native Americans, but when white people came to originally Native American territories, they also started to appreciate buffalo meat and turned it into a big production, which I've just confirmed. Today is the last day of my American journey. I decided to pay the tribute to the memory of the Buffalo people, the Lakota Oglala tribe. Here, not far from the famous president's faces carved into Mount Rushmore, there is a less famous monument, the Memorial Crazy Horse. It's a monument to one of the last great Oglala chiefs. On his land, the land of Buffalo and Native Americans, I haven't seen them together, and probably there will be no Native Americans left here soon. They fought for the territory as long as they could, but in the end, they lost the battle. The history completely destroyed the symbiosis of animals, buffalo and humans, in South Dakota. Hello, people. When someone is standing and sharpening his knife, it makes me scared. Guys, I want to say that this is how the buffalo looks from inside. Oh, how sharp it is. Okay, I've cut a piece, and what? Can I carry it? Oh, I understand now how big and strong they really are.